Clip of one of the assistant coaches chasing Caitlin Clark down as she's riling up the crowd. And it seems like she's getting scolded, reprimanded, told, hey, all that hyping up, don't do that. Don't do it. Let's take a look here first. Now here we go. Body language doctor. Body language doctor is out and about. Caitlin Clark's like, what
Hold
the
up,
hell?
did the Fever coach just go full-on WWE with Caitlin Clark mid-celebration? You bet your bottom dollar she did. Fresh footage just dropped showing Clark literally getting manhandled, pulled away from her moment, and the internet is absolutely losing its mind. Was this some bizarre strategy? An act of sabotage? Or just pure unadulterated jealousy? Stick with us, because what happened next has fans screaming, she did not just do that. We've got all the receipts, every replay, and enough what the heck energy to power a small city. Let's dive in.
Has gotten to the point where she realizes if she gives the ball to Natasha Howard, not only is she not going to get the ball back, but Natasha Howard isn't even going to look in her direction. We have officially reached that.
1 minute, Caitlin Clark is electrifying the court, hyping up the crowd, doing what only she does best. The next, her own coach transforms into the celebration police, physically yanking her back like she just tried to smuggle an entire open water bottle through a TSA checkpoint. You can practically see the question marks in Caitlin's eyes. The shock, the frozen pause, that universal, what in the actual heck just happened expression. It wasn't pain, it wasn't anger, it was the stunned realization that even pure joy now comes with a list of rules in Indiana.
So look, I don't think it's any secret that I'm not a fan of the Indiana Fever backroom staff. I'm not a fan of what they're trying to do to Caitlin Clark, and I fully believe they're trying to diminish, they're trying to dim the flame of Caitlin, and they're trying to make her fit in to what the WNBA used to be, rather than fit out and be her. I mean that. Like, that is my opinion, and there's no question about that.
Let's be brutally honest here. This isn't some isolated incident. This is just the extra weird, extra awkward, and increasingly annoying cherry on top of a very bitter sundae that's been brewing since the second she was drafted. Seriously, this woman can't even sneeze without someone from her own squad trying to hand her a tissue laced with micromanagement. You'd think becoming the league's hottest commodity would grant her a bit of creative freedom, but apparently even celebrating a bucket now requires committee approval.
So everybody online is talking about this play during one of the games where, as you're going to see, one of the coaches for the Indiana Fever just went and pretty much almost tackled Caitlin Clark for getting the crowd riled up. Man, why is she doing it? And I want to say that's this lady right here, Karima Christmas Kelly, one of the assistant coaches. And as you seen right there, she just seemed to have went and grabbed the Caitlin Clark as Caitlin Clark was trying to get the team, the crowd amped up for a big time game. And
this girl has been single-handedly selling out arenas, igniting fan bases, and converting casual sports bros into rabid WNBA devotees. And yet, the very franchise that should be crafting statues in her honor is treating her like an overzealous intern who dared to speak up in a staff meeting. There's a razor-thin line between disciplined structure and outright sabotage, and this coaching staff isn't just blurring it, they're breakdancing all over it in stilettos.
And it's just, in my opinion, is completely unacceptable. It is completely unacceptable. Like, if a coach did this to any other player in the league, they'd be fired. Or they'd at least be questionable and being fired. Then goes and hits a step back three on JC Sheldon. And she goes, the whole crowd's going nuts. And she comes, and she's getting subbed off, by the way, at this stage. She's getting subbed off for the game. She doesn't go back in the game at this stage. So it's not like it's a close game. They're up 20. She does not see the floor again. Caitlin Clark is there hyping up the crowd. She's there trying to hype up the crowd. Exactly what you want. Exactly what you want. You want to see this version of Caitlin. You want to see this player. And watch what happens here. So the coach just grabs her. Just grabs her out of nowhere. I'm like, I don't think there's anything too malicious in that. I don't know if there's anything too malicious. We don't know what's said, but like, you can't just grab.
And the management? Don't even get me started. They're equally uninspiring, acting like they just stumbled into a generational superstar and immediately slapped her with a to-do list that reads, dim your personality, share the spotlight with players who can barely hit a layup, and whatever you do, never make us look like we're not fully in control. Caitlin Clark wasn't just brought in to drain threes, she was brought in to fundamentally change the game, yet it feels like every single move she makes is met with subtle resistance. If it's not her minutes being mysteriously limited, it's her teammates suddenly developing an allergic reaction to ball movement, and now a coach literally grabs her mid-celebration like she's a rogue toddler at Disneyland. Nah, that wasn't a miscommunication, that was a full-on vibe killer. Remember, this girl has been hyping crowds since college. It's her signature move, it works. It creates energy, momentum, passion, but instead of leaning into that gold mine, the Fever staff seems to prefer she celebrate quietly in a dark room, perhaps with a librarian softly clapping in the background. You'd think she violated some sacred pro protocol. Nope, she was just breaking ratings records. Clearly that's not enough for a coaching staff who are more fixated on optics than on actual basketball wins.
That is transpiring with the Indiana Fever, but I said this yesterday, there is definitely something going on within the locker room, the front office. Something is off, man. This is the third situation in one game we have had involving Caitlin Clark and the coaching staff and pretty much another player. We had the Natasha Howard situation where Caitlin Clark bent down to tie her shoe up because she knew Natasha Howard wasn't even going to pass her the damn ball. And I'm telling you right now, that whole situation is crazy in itself. Ever since DeWanna Bonner been gone, they have simply turned this thing into the Natasha Howard team, bro.
Let's not insult anyone's intelligence by pretending this is about discipline or team unity or whatever PR fluff is currently floating around. This is unequivocally about control. It's about a coaching and management staff that appears more intimidated by Clark's gravitational pull than inspired by it. This whole situation is screaming insecure, underprepared, and we weren't ready for someone this big, so now we're gonna shrink her down to size. It's weird, it's tone deaf, and honestly, it's just sad. You can see it in her face now, when she's benched, when she's pulled too early, when her teammates suddenly get tunnel vision and pretend she doesn't exist on the wing. There's a flicker of disbelief, a silent scream bubbling just beneath the surface. She's a gamer, a competitor, a professional to her core, but she's also human, and this bizarre negative energy from the bench, it's clearly wearing her down. The joy is still there, but it's definitely dimmer. The sparkle hasn't vanished, but it's definitely blinking. At some point, someone's gonna have to ask the obvious question: why stay? Why keep pretending this is a developmental year when what's really unfolding is a slow, painful rejection of everything that makes Caitlin Clark, Caitlin Clark?
Last season in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark was 26.5% of all economic activity as a rookie. Merchandise in the league went up 234%. But here was the one that struck me. Before she got there, the Indiana Fever, the valuation of the franchise was $90 million. After playing, 40 games, the valuation of that team now is $340 million. I don't think it's a game you duplicate. There is no second Steph Curry. There is no other player that plays like that. She could be a billion-dollar athlete. Like, when I see these numbers, I'm like, oh, this is Tiger.
And let's not even gloss over the bigger picture here, because the longer this charade continues, the more glaringly obvious it becomes. There's a whole lot of people in power who simply don't know what to do with a white woman unapologetically breaking the mold in the WNBA. She doesn't fit the pre-approved narrative, she's not playing the political games, and she's definitely not leaning into the manufactured identity wars. She just wants to hoop, hype the fans, and win. And for some people who prefer carefully curated underdog stories, that makes her a major problem. It's starting to feel less like strategy, and more like she's being actively punished for being too successful too quickly. The thing is, fans aren't stupid. They see it all. They hear the tension. They read the body language. They're watching her get iced out on plays, watching her expression when she's pulled after finally heating up, watching that now infamous coach grab her like she just tried to storm Area 51. And guess what? They're not buying the excuses, not anymore. The real problem isn't Caitlin Clark. The problem is the people who clearly can't handle Caitlin Clark. She's been nothing but consistent, relentlessly driven, laser focused, and an absolute fire starter. She's brought more eyeballs to this league in a few months than others have in years. But from the looks of it, her own organization is treating her like a public relations liability instead of the absolute goldmine she clearly is, which is, frankly, bananas. Imagine those marketing meetings. Hey guys, let's rein in our most popular player. Maybe even stop her from being awesome. Great plan.
Has been knocked on her ass. She's been knocked on her ass. She's been cheap shotted. She's been poked in the eye. Everything. They have beat the Connecticut Sun. This is a month ago nearly. The Connecticut Sun beat the crap out of her. Absolutely beat the crap out of each other.
So, if this is the tragic direction the Fever is determined to keep pushing, don't be shocked when one day Caitlin Clark simply walks in, takes one look around and says, nope, I'm good. Because there's only so much weird energy, blatant sabotage, and career throttling a person can endure before they decide they've officially had enough. And the second she does, half the league will be waiting with open arms and infinitely better coaching. This isn't just a coaching misstep, it's a masterclass in how to spectacularly fumble generational talent. She's been dealing with ridiculous obstacles from day one. Nike dragged their feet on her shoe deal like it was some obscure Kickstarter campaign with zero funding. The league has been infuriatingly slow to protect her from cheap shots and public attacks. And now, even her own team seems more interested in neutralizing her than unleashing her. And that celebration grab, that wasn't just physical, it was deeply symbolic, a heavy-handed metaphor for literally everything she's had to endure since becoming the undeniable face of this league. So yeah, fans are beyond frustrated. They're watching their favorite player get held back, both literally and figuratively, and they're absolutely exhausted of being told to trust the process when the process looks this profoundly dysfunctional. You simply cannot build an entire franchise around a generational star and then proceed to treat her like you're babysitting her through a summer camp. Enough already.
Body had put on there has this coach been reprimanded, suspended, fired. This is really terrible behavior. What is happening behind the scenes? If the WNBA wants to do an investigation, they might want to look into the Fever staff treatment of Caitlin Clark. And you see right here, women are equal, correct? We all know the story. This would be if there were a male coach, why the double standard? Fire her. Coach's posture is interesting. I remember seeing it live and thought it was weird.
Either the Fever finally gets their act together, or they risk losing the very force that made them remotely relevant in the first place. Because if Caitlin Clark finally decides she's truly had enough, it won't just be Indiana that feels the seismic shift. It will be the entire WNBA watching the single best thing to happen to their league in decades walk away from the nonsense and never ever look back. At this point, it honestly feels like the Fever are conducting a live masterclass in how to lose a superstar in 30 days. Like, if this were a rom-com, Caitlin Clark would already be packing her bags while a Kelly Clarkson power ballad plays dramatically in the background. The undeniable swagger that once radiated from every three-pointer, every crowd-hyping gesture, every electric moment she touched. It's flickering. This isn't about a shooting slump or typical rookie nerves. This is a franchise actively, deliberately draining the fun out of basketball for the one player who single-handedly made the sport fun again for millions. It's like watching a majestic unicorn slowly morph into a tired old mule because someone in upper management decided glitter was just too distracting.
No one is giving you a chance, and it's not fun no more. Angel Reese fans no longer making it fun. They've been very draining and exhausting. The Caitlin Clark haters is no longer making it fun. They draining and exhausting. Your fans, some of the CC fans are no longer making it fun. They are draining and exhausting. Not one, is giving you the opportunity in your era to grow, for you to get better. Everyone has high expectations of you because of what you did your first year.
And from a purely business standpoint, this is certified insanity. There is no spreadsheet, no algorithm, no slick PowerPoint presentation in existence that could ever justify stifling Caitlin Clark. She's not just a player, she's a brand, a media magnet, a literal revenue engine with a deadly jump shot. But here come the Fever, clutching their clipboards, probably muttering, maybe if we squeeze just a little harder, she'll finally stop smiling altogether. Mission accomplished, geniuses, because let's be real, Caitlin Clark hasn't genuinely smiled in weeks, and who can possibly blame her? She was drafted straight into dysfunction, tossed into a locker room with ice-cold chemistry, handed a coach who treats her like a liability, and surrounded by teammates who play like passing to her voids their warranty. Every single game feels like a group project where the star student is being graded on someone else's sloppy, half-baked work. And when she dares to show even a flicker of her true personality, she gets grabbed, benched, iced out, or straight up scolded. The message is painfully clear. Dim it down, Caitlin. Be less.
Caitlin Clark getting basically wrecked. This is one of the worst decisions that I have ever seen any league engage in. Caitlin Clark is the biggest draw for a team sport in my life relative to the audience that would be fans of the sport without her. Bigger than Michael Jordan was for the NBA, bigger than any NFL star has ever been. All of those sports were very popular before those athletes got there. Caitlin Clark is the golden goose. Every game she is dropping golden eggs, and they are trying to strangle the golden goose to death. It's one of the dumbest things I've...
It's truly wild that a league literally begging for eyeballs, desperate for mainstream attention, would allow this complete and utter disaster to unfold. The WNBA finally gets its ratings queen, its charismatic superstar, and instead of rolling out the red carpet, they hand her a script titled How to Conform and Alienate Your Entire Fan Base in 10 Easy Steps. She's being picked apart for every subtle expression, criticized for every raw emotion, constantly told to share a spotlight she created out of sheer unadulterated talent and charisma. And when the vibe is this overtly hostile, even the most unshakable players start to wobble. Caitlin isn't just navigating tough defense on the court, she's dodging weird internal politics, subtle resentments, and shadowy backroom whisper campaigns that seem designed to break her before she even fully arrives. And honestly, let's just talk trade. If this is how the Fever treats their undeniable franchise savior, maybe it's high time for an amicable but necessary split. Look, she's not perfect, nobody is. She's made her rookie mistakes, taken questionable shots, and yeah, she's brash. But here's the kicker. That's exactly what made her absolutely unstoppable in college. That unshakable edge, that undeniable fire, that unapologetic aura. The Fever clearly doesn't want it, so let her go. Set her free. Send her to a franchise that actually understands what a once-in-a-generation player looks like and doesn't try to smother her brilliance with layers of mediocrity and suffocating micromanagement.
Now, I said this yesterday. I'm all for the veteran players. But at the end of the day, did we all forget that this is Caitlin's team? Like, did y'all just throw that whole situation out the window? Number 1 draft pick, rookie of the year, breaking all the damn records like they're scratch-offs? Bruh, what is we doing here, dog? I mean, Stevie Wonder could see that they tripping, man, at this point in time. I mean, I want to see the Caitlin we seen. What happened to the Iowa CC? The greatness. I mean, bro, we haven't seen the Logo 3 in a month.
Because here's the cold, hard truth. You cannot change Caitlin Clark without utterly breaking her. You simply cannot force her into the respect your elders, wait your turn box, and still expect fireworks. She was built to lead, not to blend in. She was born to launch bombs from the logo and light up scoreboards, not to tiptoe around fragile egos who bizarrely think hustle points matter more than actual wins. Trying to remake her into some quiet, deferential version of herself isn't just profoundly dumb, it's obscenely expensive. Every single bad pass she's forced to watch sail over her head. That's a marketing opportunity dying in real time. She came into this league fresh off record-breaking college performances, bursting with unshakable confidence, carrying more momentum than the entire WNBA combined. And now, she looks like she's constantly wondering if she left the stove on back in Iowa. And let's be absolutely clear, this isn't about growing pains or adjusting to the pro level. This is about an entire ecosystem that refuses refuses to evolve fast enough to embrace someone who is demonstrably bigger than their outdated rules and antiquated thinking. If the league and the Fever are genuinely scared of Caitlin Clark being too much, then they were never ever ready for this kind of success in the first place.
Hey, Caitlin Clark, this is for Caitlin. If you're not Caitlin, keep it pushing. Okay, this is for Caitlin only. Caitlin, what I'm about to tell you as a supporter of yours, as a fan of yours that has been watching you since Iowa, I'm gonna hold your hand when I tell you this. The WNBA, it's time to wrap that shit up. Okay, it's time to go. Pack your shit up. Let's go. I don't want this for you no more. Okay, I've been here. I don't want this for you no more. It's too much. Too much expectation. It's all about race. It's too biased. Everybody just wants.
What's truly baffling is how entirely preventable this whole mess was. All they had to do was lean in, give her the damn ball, give her the freedom, give her the space to simply be the phenomenon they claim to be celebrating. But instead, it's been nothing but pushback, passive-aggressive coaching, suspect rotations, and a bizarre, almost militant refusal to play to her undeniable strengths. And now, this strange public campaign to systematically drain her spirit in broad daylight. But here's the crucial twist. Clark may be down, but she is absolutely unequivocally not out. So Fever, WNBA, and everyone else still clinging to the fairy tale that this is just about rookie learning curves, wake up. You don't get many stars like this, and when you treat them like they're replaceable, they quickly become unavailable somewhere. Another savvy team is watching this train wreck unfold and quietly clearing cap space, because they know Caitlin Clark doesn't need Indiana, but Indiana. Without her, they go right back to being just another forgettable name on the schedule. Let her go before she's the one who finally pulls the plug and takes the league's entire spotlight with her.